سلام بچه‌ها، خیلی خوش اومدین به اولین ویدیو سال 1401 مون که اولین ویدیوش حساب میشه و خیلی 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 عیدتون مبارک و امیدوارم سالی پر از برکت، عشق، محبت، موفقیت و خمس و زکات داشته باشی. روز برای اولین سابجکت ویدیوی سال جدیدمون اومدیم با عجیب ترین آدمای توی دنیا که خیلی ویرد هستن و کلا نمیشه، یعنی میشه خب دست خودشون نبوده و این چیز خدادادی بوده، ولی خب بریم ببینیم که طبیعتا اونایی که کلا این حالت هم دارن توی دنیا معروفن کلا، چون که انگشت شمار حساب میشن. دونو مطلبی سر ویدیو جدیدم بچه‌ها لایک کامنت یادت نره 1401 تو خمس و زکات ندی تا آخر سال کفر میگیرتت. اگر هم دوست داشتین داخل سرور دیسکورد ما جوین بشین، داخل اینستا ما رو فالو بکنین که خیلی 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 ممنونتون میشم. بدون مطلب بریم سر ویدیو جدیدمون. لیتس گو.
This English woman of Accrington, Lancashire, has a
Holy
rare genetic disorder
shit,
that
bro.
causes her legs to reach a morbid and extraordinary size, which prevents her from even walking. The rest of her body, however, is quite the normal
واقعا
size.
سخت
At
همچین
one point,
زندگیایی،
her
چون
extremities
که
weighed an incredible 210
یه سری کارا
pounds.
مثل نرمال آدم نرمال واقعا نمیشه اینطوری زندگی کرد. سخته واقعا.
And her left leg had to be amputated. Now this is where it gets interesting. Sometime after the amputation,
که یک کفشش اندازه کل قد من بود.
started to regrow at a rapid rate. And 2 years after the amputation, the leg
یه لحظه
soon after that, Mandy started taking pioneering
یه خیلی بده
medications that
واقعا.
have seen her legs shrink down
هیچو
to
کن
around
تو
150
طول روز، حالا نه همچین
I'm not
چیزی،
quite sure how much her legs will shrink. One thing is
واقعا
certain, though,
مثلا فرض کن
no matter
نتونی
what
درست
happens,
نفس بکشی.
Mandy Sellers will keep
هر
her
کسی یه
positive
دردی داره
attitude
طبیعتا،
towards
ولی خب
life.
این که بخوای مثل یه آدم نرمال عادی بدون هیچ مشکلی زندگی کنی، واقعا باید به سلامتیت توجه بکنی.
Number 7,
لیزی
Lizzie
ولاسکز.
Lizzie has a rare disease which results in her being extremely skinny. You might
Oh,
find it hard to
shit.
believe, but Lizzie's body has 0% fat and she weighs just 64 pounds despite
میگه
consuming between a staggering 5,000
0%
to 8,000
چاقی،
calories per day.
استخونه خالص یعنی.
Marginoid protoroid lipodystrophy
آه
syndrome. On top of being very hard to pronounce, this syndrome basically means that her body is unable to accumulate fat.
میگه سندرومی تو بدنش داره که باعث میشه کلا نتونه بدنش چاق بشه یا همچین چیزی.
And can't see very well out of the other. As you can imagine, Lizzie was the subject of cruel bullying, with many people
Bah!
calling her the ugliest
بابا
woman in
این
the world.
خاموش میشه.
Many people calling her the ugliest woman in the world. And when she was just a child, other kids were straight up refusing to even talk to her. However, Lizzie decided to stand up against all the bullying and work hard to achieve her goals. She started her own YouTube channel,
Whoa.
which has received almost 70 million views to date. Lizzie even had a documentary made about her
Never
in 2015
fucking get up.
entitled A Brave Heart, the Lizzie Velasquez story.
آفاجی چی گفتم؟
Number 6, Abdul Bajandar.
عبدال.
Abdul Bajandar from
Shit.
Bangladesh suffers from an extremely rare disease known simply as epidermal dysplasia vericornis. I am pretty sure I just butchered that name, but let's just keep it rolling. Anyway, this condition, caused by an immune system defect, makes Abdul develop growths on his limbs that look exactly like tree branches, hence the name Tree Man. This condition is quite rare. In fact, only 200 cases have been documented so far. Poor Abdul has been struggling with this disease for more than 15 years. He first noticed the branches at the age of 10. The condition later became so severe that he was forced to retire from his job as a rickshaw driver. At one point, he actually tried cutting them off himself. But no matter how hard he tried, the branches kept reappearing again and again. Since 2016, Abdul has gone under more than 25 surgeries. Doctors removed a whopping 11 pounds of the growths in 2017. And just when they thought he had been cured, the branches reappeared. Now, Abdul is begging the doctors to amputate his hands because he can no longer handle the severe pain they cause him. Pretty sad indeed. Number 5, Ari Wibowo. Ari Wibowo from Indonesia, nicknamed Snake Boy, sheds his skin every 41 hours. This is due to the
مثل
condition
مار
called
هر
erythroderma,
24
better
ساعت
known
فکر کنم
as
گفت
red
اگه
man
اشتباه نگم
syndrome,
یا
which
48
causes the
ساعت
skin to become extremely
بدنش
dry
پوست
and
میندازه.
scaly. To fight this disease, Ari must bathe every hour and apply lotion on a regular basis. He was born with this condition, which doctors can't cure. All
قابل
Ari can
درمان هم
do
میگه
is
نیست،
make
دکترها
sure he stays
نتونستن.
well moisturized, because otherwise his skin becomes very painful and his body would harden up, making him unable to move. Fellow villagers have a perfectly reasonable explanation for Ari's condition. They believe the condition was caused by his mother killing a lizard while she was pregnant with him. According to the Indonesian superstition, if a woman mistreats an animal while pregnant, they will apparently cause the child to resemble the
آدم که این چیزا رو میبینه ناراحت میشه.
Due to this superstitious attitude and the fear that his condition may be contagious, when he was younger, the poor boy was forced to study alone, as no schools were willing to accept him because of ignorance about his condition in the community. Despite all of this, Ari still tries to live a relatively normal life in his village. Number 4, Carlos Haffy Rodriguez. The nickname Haffy isn't hard to understand once you get a look at Carlos Haffy Rodriguez. I mean, the man is missing the top half of his head. He became internet famous when his mugshot went viral in 2010. As you can imagine, it wasn't that crime that made him famous, but rather his bizarre appearance. However, Haffy wasn't born with his head this way. Instead, it was the result of the injury he suffered during a car accident when he was just 14 years old. The young Carlos was driving, get this, while on drugs when he hit a pole. Next thing he knew, he was thrown through the front windshield and landed on his head. His head was flattened and he lost a portion of his brain and skull. But he survived. His head, however, retained the flattened appearance, causing many people to believe that his mugshot was photoshopped. Now, Carlos uses his deformity as a means to try to help others avoid drugs. Seriously, next time you think about driving while on drugs, just remember this dude's head. Number 3, Claudio Vieira de Jalivira. It's hard to imagine not being able to move your head or limbs, let alone seeing the world upside down because of how your head is positioned. That's a reality for Claudio Vieira de Jalivira from Brazil. When he was born, the doctor gave his mother what has to be the worst medical advice ever. They advised her to simply just let him pass away by starving him intentionally. Yep, you heard that correctly. You see, Claudio was born with arthrogryposis, meaning that his limbs were fused together and his head was positioned upside down and facing backwards. It's hard to imagine someone living like that, I know. Luckily, Claudia's mother didn't take the doctor's advice, and she raised the boy despite his bizarre condition.
بسیار خوب بچه‌ها، این بود ویدیو امروز. امیدوارم از ویدیو خوشتون اومده باشه. البته یه جورایی کرینج و یه جورایی ناراحت کننده بود. خیلی ممنون که تا اینجا با من همراه بودین بچه‌ها. لایک کامنت ساب یادتون نره که واسه دلگرمیه و خیلی خیلی ممنونتون میشم که داخل سرور دیسکورد ما جوین بشین، داخل اینستا ما رو فالو بکنین که یادتون نره این خمس و زکات زندگیه. تا ویدیوی بعدی میبینمتون. پیس اوت.